Hey everybody, long time no see. Hey, I just want to do a quick video here, so this is a nice little quick setup, but I wanted to show you guys an issue that I was having with my car, my 2012 Hyundai Tucson. The other day, well, more than another day, it was probably about a week ago, I had a error code on my 2012 Hyundai Tucson, and I went in and had it checked at one of the auto parts stores, and they told me it was a oxygen sensor, bank 2 sensor, or bank 1 sensor 2, and it ended up being the one that's near the catalytic converter. I didn't think it was going to be a big deal. I went and ordered the parts from Rock Auto. I have to say that I really liked their customer service because I ordered one that was the wrong one. I didn't realize that there was two different ones, one for California emissions and one for federal emissions. You want the federal emission one unless you live in California. And I ordered it and put it on the car. One thing you'll notice here is that the top of it is all stripped out now, and that's kind of the reason I wanted to do the video. I actually started with a socket here. I got a oxygen sensor socket from Harbor Freight, and it fit perfectly when I got it. And it fit perfectly into it, as it does right here. Pretty much doesn't turn. But when you go to turn this, it stripped the bolt out. So first off, I probably wouldn't recommend the socket. I got it. It was $6. I mean, $6 or $7, not a big deal. But the one thing I will say that it tore this up pretty good. It was pretty hard to get out. It was stuck in there pretty good. Obviously, being down in that area by the exhaust, going to have a lot of heat and everything else introduced to it. So the second thing I did, I went and tried, was putting some PB Blaster on it and seeing if that would help loosen it up. It helped a little bit. I was able to get it turning, but that would not take it off. So originally, my thinking was that this job was going to take about an hour and a half. It ended up being that it took probably about 5 hours, about 2.5 hours per day for 2 days to get this done. And part of the reason was I had to go get some other stuff to help out. But I'll show you here in just a second what I ended up doing to get it out. It was completely different than I thought I would use, but I like the solution I came up with. And if I can save anybody, 5 minutes of time or a couple hours worth of time, I'll show you how I did it. So I took a pair of vice grips, and what I did was I just clamped the vice grips on here, and I tried turning it, and that didn't do anything for me. It was hard to turn because I couldn't get enough leverage on it. What I ended up doing, because I couldn't use my breaker bar because I had a socket that didn't go on there worth a damn, I'll show you what I ended up doing. I ended up going to get a pipe. And what I ended up doing was sticking this over the end of the pipe. So this is a 12-inch nipple. And I ended up pulling out, leverage it down and pull it out. And the reason I show you that is that I think sometimes with these sockets, looking over at Google and everything, they actually say that a lot of these fail. Not just for Harbor Freight, but other ones as well. It doesn't make it any easier to take them out. So if you're not going to use the socket again or use the O2 sensor again, you've got another one. What I would use is a pair of vice grips and a long pipe, 12-inch pipe or so, and try to pull it out that way. I had a lot more success with this than I did with the socket, which was designed for this sort of stuff. I know some people are going to say it's Harbor Freight stuff, so but nevertheless, it did get this thing out, even with the torn out head and like that. So I'm sure it added a little bit to it, but it did come out, which is the one thing. It's probably been in there it's probably the original O2 sensor that we're even talking about it. So yeah, I replaced it, didn't have any issues with it since. Checked all the error codes. I bought a little $20 scanner to check out the error codes and didn't see anything on it as well. So it did its job. But I will say this is a lesson learned for me. I'm going to take it out. I'm not going to have to use it again. I am more willing to use a pair of vice grips, a nice pipe, and a little bit of penetrating oil to get that thing moving. Probably a cheaper fix actually in the long run than spending all the time that I did on it and such. So just a word of advice. This has been my lesson with it at least. Helps get that thing out. Nice pair of vice grips. I wouldn't use the straight ones like that, but I'd use the ones like here, made for taking out some bolts. So anyways, hope you liked the video. Hope it helps somebody along the way. I wouldn't want to have that issue myself ever again, because it did take a little while to get it out. But if it saved you some time, hopefully it saves somebody the headache that I had with it. So alright, till the next video, hope you all have a wonderful day.